An alleged assault on the student leads to a school closure and a police probe. Mental health may soon be included under the umbrella of non-communicable diseases. A Mega 6 winner finally collects but through an attorney. And in sports, the national men's basketball team announced for FIBA's AmeriCup.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening to you, I'm Pearson Bowen. The police have been called in to investigate the alleged assault of a student at the Frederick Smith Secondary School yesterday. Confirmation of this from Education Minister Kay McConney following a lengthy meeting with the principal, the teachers and labour unions earlier today. Sharika Griffith visited the St. James School and filed this report.
While declining to go into detail, Education Minister Kay McConney has confirmed reports that an incident involving a student of the Frederick Smith Secondary School occurred on the school compound.
There was an incident where a child was assaulted, and the matter is now in the police hands, and I have to say allegedly so, because until such things are proven, we have to be careful what we say. But what I will say, the truth is, there was an incident. There was an incident. The police now has this matter in hand, and I will say nothing further on it because, of course, due process has to happen. I do know that they have someone in custody.
Ms. McConney was speaking to members of the media after an approximately 4-hour-long meeting, which prompted the cancellation of classes at the school. Several officers of the Barbados Police Service were also observed visiting the school throughout the day. Minister McConney said the meeting was called because of a number of issues, including security and a need for resources that have been impacting the school over a period of time. While the school's board has called an emergency meeting to review the security situation and come up with a plan of action, Principal Stephen Jackman indicated that some steps have already been agreed to.
We are going to be closing the gate at 9:30. We will issue appointments for parents. If a parent comes and they don't have an appointment, but it is something that we feel we have to access, then we will designate an area where that parent will stay, where they cannot interact with the school, for the safety of the parent and for the safety of the children. Anyone coming to see their child, we will be bringing the child to them. We will no longer be escorting them into the general body of the school.
And President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Rudy Lovell, who attended the meeting, said while the ministry has made similar promises in the past, he's optimistic this time they will be kept. He believes had security measures been stepped up before, the likelihood of yesterday's incident could have been reduced.
There would have been a reduced possibility of it happening. We have been agitating for security in schools for a number of years. We know there are some schools in Barbados that would need more security than others, and the Frederick Smith Secondary School is one such school. We are hopeful that that security will be provided for the staff and the students to be able to feel comfortable while carrying out their daily duties. And we are mindful that yesterday's incident may have triggered what will be a new protocol with regards to security in schools.
Deputy Chief Education Officer Joy Adamson has been tasked with scheduling a follow-up meeting in about 2 weeks to provide a progress update on the commitments made by the ministry. School is expected to resume come Monday. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Sharika, thank you. Tonight, the police have cleared the air on a viral rumour that a school child was stabbed to death in Speightstown. Inspector Rodney Innes of the Communications and the Public Affairs Department explained what really happened.
We can confirm that there was an altercation in the Speightstown area in the terminal, and there are 2 children at the Street East station. They are not hurt, and they're not being charged with anything. We're waiting for the parents of those children to come to the station. But we have not received any formal report of any stabbing or death of any school child. We haven't received that at our operations control nor any of our police stations.
Well, the police are investigating an early morning shooting along Worthing, Christchurch, that left a man injured. Police, in a statement, said the victim was walking in the area of the Republic Bank at Worthing when he encountered two males dressed in all black and ski masks who pointed a gun at him. One of the men shot him in his right thigh. The men then ran off and left the area in a white motor car. The victim ran to a nearby business, asked for help, and was subsequently transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in a private motor car. That incident took place around 10 minutes to 2 this morning. Anyone who can provide any information that can assist with these investigations is asked to call the Police Emergency 211 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or the nearest police station. Well, mental health may soon be included under the umbrella of non-communicable diseases. That's one of the considerations coming out of the just concluded Small Island Developing States Ministerial Conference on NCDs and mental health. Health Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Jerome Walcott, at a media conference following the presentation of the outcome document last evening, said most of the conference participants are in favor of its inclusion.
It has been agreed that we should perhaps not separate it anymore, but when we speak of NCDs, it is automatic that mental health issues are included. We had a very useful session this morning, a high-level session, where we looked at a different perspective, participation at a Minister of Finance, representative from the World Bank, where we looked at the actual issue of financing the changes that are necessary and how the health ministries and ministries of finance should perhaps work together.
Dr. Walcott believes the outcome document, the Bridgetown Declaration, which is divided into 15 main points, 2 annexes and various subheads, addresses the need for accelerated action.
Declaration with solutions and plans developed by SIDS countries, recognizing that we need to have accelerated action internally in the countries to address the issues of early mortality and matters of childhood obesity, to mention a few, but also recognizing the need for SIDS countries to speak with a unified voice as they deal with these issues, not only within our own groupings, but certainly at various international fora. And also the need for us to recognize and to make it be known to our international partners that a lot of the issues are compromised and made worse by the fact that CIS countries have to deal with the challenges of weather and the misfortunes of the occurrences, usually almost every year in some cases.
And in related news, the history of Barbados healthcare was on full display for the world to see at the SIDS conference, which ended today at the Lloyd Skin Sandiford Centre. Wendy Burke has that story.
The interconnectedness of the health sector was exhibited for several small island states to see at the SIDS Health NCD and Mental Health Conference put together by the World Health Organization and the Pan American Health Organization. The showcase looks at nursing over the years, pharmacy, mental health treatments, and a few other areas working together to deliver patient care. Dr. Kimberly Phillips, Medical Officer Health at the Brantford Tate Polyclinic, told CBC News that a team worked on the exhibit just as it's a team effort in primary health care.
This display represents a collaboration, a significant effort between a number of colleagues to put on. So I don't want to take credit first and foremost, because I'm just one part of a team that really put some effort into getting this together. What we wanted to do for this display was to kind of have a little bit of nostalgia. There's a phrase, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been or where you are from, and so I think that would have been the primary thought behind putting on this display. So we would have contacted quite a number of organizations, both public and private healthcare.
She said the response was very pleasing because they received a lot of items. While they were not able to represent all aspects of the health profession, they made sure the ancillary was represented.
People see doctors and nurses and pharmacists, but we wanted to showcase as many people as we have. So we have health promotion there on the table. We have a little section that we dedicated to laundry. We wanted to go back into pharmacy in those days, and because it is an NCD and mental health conference, I will tell you we have a significant contribution, wonderful contribution from the mental health hospital. They have preserved some of their uniforms that they have used over the years.
Dr. Phillips, who is within the polyclinic system, noted that it is a key aspect in the care of NCD and mental health patients. According to her, it is through the clinics that people would be referred to specialists in other areas for follow-up care.
It is the part of the health service that helps to coordinate. So while the neurologist is dealing with your mental brain function and such like, while your cardiologist may be dealing with your heart and your blood vessels, it is primary health care that tries to keep all the pieces together and all the little pieces that they may not cover, so that the holistic side of treatment is not lost sight of.
The conference ended today. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Coming up, an emergency management official sends a message about old vehicles and appliances. Stop being sentimental with old vehicles and appliances and correctly discard them before a weather system strikes. That's the message Program Officer with the Department of Emergency Management, Danielle Skeet, is sending to Barbadians. It was one of the points she highlighted as she delivered the department's lunchtime lecture on hurricane preparedness at the National Library Service in Fairchild Street.
We're very sentimental about stuff, and we tend to keep a lot of stuff that we probably don't need to keep. So there's a stove outside. Doesn't work. The burner stopped burning a long time ago, but you know what? My first job I ever had, I bought that stove for my mother, and I am not about to part with it, right? We become very sentimental about things like that. We have old cars outside the house parked up. They're not moving, they're not going anywhere, we're not even going to use them again. But again, because we're very sentimental, we have them outside. Not only do these things become missiles during hurricanes and storms, but even in regular peace times, these things can hold water, etc., and create other hazards for you.
A two-vehicle smash-up at 4 Road St. John around 1:30 this afternoon resulted in injuries to 2 people. One of them was taken to hospital by ambulance. The other sought private medical care. Details relating to the extent of the injuries and the names were not immediately available. However, the fire service is concerned about the driving practices on the roads.
We are urging drivers, when they approach junctions, to look again before exiting to avoid these collisions.
Well, the groundwork is in place for a gerontology clinic in Barbados. Word of this from Barbados' first and only gerontologist, Dr. Lana Husbands. In an exclusive interview with CBC News, she told Trevor Thorpe about the plans.
Before discussing the facility, Dr. Husbands gave some background to gerontology.
Basically, it's a scientific study of the aging process, and whether that's medical or environmental, social, all the things that happen as a person ages, all the things surrounding them. So it's a study of what happens as a person ages and how it affects them and their surroundings, the community and their family in general.
According to the gerontologist, new figures show that 16.3% of the population of Barbados is over 65, and we should be putting plans in place for our aging society. She explained the plans for the clinic.
That would include transportation, it would include provision for the caregivers, it include trained personnel, so whether it's from the orderly and the delivery gentleman to the nurse and the doctor, everyone's focus is on the older person. They're not only their medical knowledge, but their knowledge of their social affairs. So social workers are, I would say, one of that. If you have a 3-legged stool, social workers would have to be one of those legs.
Dr. Husbands is also happy to see elderly people attending events and gives the thumbs up to queue in the community.
It's once a week, it still is. And you see some persons, they plan from Thursday to the next Thursday, and they are going to queue no matter what, because if they only get out that one time, except for maybe they go to their religious ceremonies, they are going to queue because they know they're going to see their friends and they're going to be able to all talk.
Dr. Husbands is also calling for more studies to be done by her colleagues on gerontology in order to keep pace with the aging Barbadian population. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
St. Andrew residents now have a new post office. It was officially opened this evening by Minister of Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams, Senior Minister Dr. William Dugid, and Member of Parliament for the area Dr. Rommel Springer. Mr. Abrams is hoping the facility will bring happiness to the residents after being without a post office for a while.
This has taken quite a while. It's been a frustrating process for a lot of you. You may not know, but the acting Prime Minister, this project started under him when he was a Minister for Housing. And since then, he went through a number of iterations, an election and a couple of reshuffles. So we understand how long this project has been going on. I want to commend your previous MP, George Payne, who fought tooth and nail for the people of St. Andrew. And I want to especially commend your current MP, who gives his all. He eats, drinks, breathes, sweats, and bleeds St. Andrew.
Mr. Abrams says the new facility is a commitment to the people of the parish who have suffered several moves and closures.
That this newly reconstructed, recommitted, rededicated, soon to be rededicated post office, we're going to keep it in good nick. We're going to keep it in good nick and enhance the services that we're providing to the people of St. Andrew.
Member of Parliament for St. Andrew, Dr. Rommel Springer, says the new facility offers hope and more will come for the parish.
The reopening of this post office elicits tremendous optimism for further progress as we anticipate the return of other services and the reopening of other facilities within this Belle Plaine community. I am thinking right now that a properly outfitted community center will certainly complement this space.
The Mega 6 winner from May the 5th this year has finally collected their jackpot winnings, but through an attorney at law. Arthur Holder received the check today for $1,480,000 from Mumu's Supermarket at Lamming St. Joseph. Mr. Holder described the winner as a young man with great family connections. While Mr. Arthur admitted that he did take a while before he collected, he said the win did not change the young man's character, and he found his approach to him remarkable.
He came to my office with the ticket in an envelope, and on the outside of that envelope were some words inscribed that reflects the mentality of the young man. And those words on the envelope, God, thank you. I think it is reflective of the personality of the young man.
Well, representative for Mumu's Supermarket, Don McIntosh, told CBC News this was the biggest winning customer they've ever had, and it feels great.
People around here always say we never win anything, so I'm really happy for that person that won. Some more publicity, it's being that we're in the countryside, so we're elated that, that we got to win, and we'd like to thank the lottery also for giving us that chance, to be exposed some more.
Across the region now, regional grouping CARICOM has signaled its commitment and support of a culture of peace before the United Nations, suggesting global efforts towards peace and reconciliation can only be sustained through a collective approach. Barbados' permanent representative to the UN, Ambassador Francois Jackman, says it must be built on trust, constructive dialogue and collaboration. Well, given today's global context, Ambassador Jackman says it's even more critical than before.
As stated in the Declaration of Culture of Peace, education at all levels is one of the principal means to build a culture of peace. The most significant way of promoting a culture of peace is through education. CARICOM believes this premise remains true. In addition, when women and youth are engaged, peace is possible. Through our Caribbean Youth Advocacy and Action Agenda on Violence Prevention, we have actively engaged and empowered our youth across our region. This has allowed our youth to effectively work on specific issues related to crime and violence, including prevention and reduction in crime, to foster social inclusion and to promote reintegration.
Ambassador Jackman was at the time contributing to debate during the UN General Assembly's meeting discussing a culture of peace. He told the session CARICOM believes peace is a prerequisite to achieving prosperity and sustainable development.
It is much more than simply the absence of war. A comprehensive and coordinated approach to the promotion of a culture of peace is an imperative dimension of international commitment towards promoting mutual understanding and cooperation to achieve global peace. CARICOM remains committed to being part of this process.
Time now to get the latest in sports news with the one and only Damien Best. Damien, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. We're going to start with this one. Team Barbados is as ready as can be despite several challenges in the build-up to the FIBA AmeriCup 2025 pre-qualifiers in Chile. That's the word from head coach Devon Blair and president of the Barbados Amateur Basketball Association, Francis Williams, as the squad ramps up preparations for the June 22nd to 25th competition. Now, 12 players have made the cut from the original 22 called up for the senior men's team and have been going through their paces for only 2 weeks now at the Barbados Community College Gym. Their opponents in Group A will be Paraguay, host Chile, and Ecuador. In the absence of any recent regional competition, Barbados was selected based on their regional and world ranking. The top 2 teams from this group, along with the top 2 from a second group competing in Nicaragua, will advance to the qualifying round in February 2024. Now, the tournament is also being used as a qualifier for the 2026 CAC Games and the 2027 Pan American Games. Williams says the trip is costing a whopping $115,000.
Nicaragua would have been our best bet cost-wise. We got the longest end of the draw. We have to go to Chile. Chile also now has the component of being cold at this moment. So we also had to add about $10,000, $15,000 in cold weather uniform for the team that we probably will never get to use again. So the things like that that have constantly been added to the costs, but the airline component is really the biggest issue right now. You're looking at airline tickets averaging between starting to book and finish anywhere between $4,000 and $5,500 per head.
Well, Coach Blair has outlined his style of play and will be hoping his team can execute.
So we're looking at a very high possession game is what we want to play with. We want to run teams off the floor. That's our goal. Okay, anybody can run for 2 quarters, 3 quarters, but when it comes to fourth quarter, can they still keep up with us? Right? That's the mentality that we're going to have in every game, and that's what we've been working on. Right? This last week it was how fast can we get the ball up the court? Who cares if they score? Right? We're going to do everything in our power to prevent them from scoring, but if they do, well, then we better go score on the other end.
Well, Akeem Marsh of Clapham Bulls and Keith Burkett of Lakers Sports Club are among the experienced locally based players, while 9 of the overseas players include UK-based Andre Lockhart and debutant Tanner Thomas of the USA.
I'm excited. It's always been like an honor to play for Barbados. Like, I wear that badge really, like, proudly. Even in my pro career, like, I always, where are you from? I don't say London. Even though I was born there, I say I'm from Barbados. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the challenge. This is something that we've always been striving for year by year. Like, I've been on the program, national program, for like since 14, 15. So, I mean, to be at this stage and still be able to play is a blessing, but I'm excited.
Before this, I'd even come about Sport of Francis, and I wasn't even thinking about playing basketball anymore. So we had a chat and stuff like during COVID and after COVID. That's when Devon had come in and ran a camp with the guys, and we spoke about it. I gave it a lot of thought. I decided to come back and play, but no, at the beginning of the season here, I wasn't as fit because I was battling a couple injuries. But in preseason, we did a lot of conditioning, and that's really helped. And then the running when we were at practice, it really helps also. So feeling way better than how I started the season.
We used to come down here every summer, multiple times a year. We never really seen the basketball scene, but now getting into it, I love it. I like it a lot. And now I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be part of Barbados basketball.
And just to let you know, tonight on Final Score, we'll analyze the Barbados team selection for the AmeriCup tournament. Final Score starts at 8:30 right here on TV8. Well, head coach of the Barbados senior men's football team, Orlando Da Costa, has outlined his plans for their historic friendly international match against Honduras, set for Sunday at Olympia Stadium in the USA. The Tridents went through their final paces at the BFA headquarters in Wilde before departing the island yesterday. They are expected to be fully tested by their higher-ranked opponents, who are using the match as preparation for the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Barbados, ranked 30th in the region, are coming off a 2-1 victory over host Antigua and Barbuda in the Nations League in March, while Honduras, ranked 9th, will be looking to rebound from a heavy 4-1 defeat to Canada in the same tournament.
Our ambition is to overcome challenges and break records, and always, and for us also, we try every time to do our best to improve, to develop our game model, and also as a human side. And against Honduras, will be very good to test us, to test our limitations. But anyway, the sky is the limit for warriors. So it means what I can promise to you is let's fighting against all our limitations in this game.
Well, midfielder Elijah Downey also told BFA Media he's relishing the opportunity to represent the country again.
I think all the guys are pretty much ready. This is a young team, a very hungry team, a team that's willing to play football for Barbados. And I'm very proud to see the names are in the team. I know a lot of the fans are kind of curious about why certain players are not in the team, but I am happy with the team because this is a very young team, and I know these guys are very hungry to play some football. Honduras is a very strong team. Obviously, we're going to be the underdogs, but we're not going to back down. But for me personally, I want to go and have a good game. Hopefully, people are going to be watching. Hopefully, could get, a little scouting or something from that, a little recognition. But most importantly, just want to have a really good game and represent my nation.
Well, making his debut is Britain's Hill forward Corey Hoyt, who is among the leading goal scorers in the local Premier League this season.
My set is to work hard as I can and score more goals. I would feel very happy because ever since I wanted to play for Barbados from 16 years old.
In business tonight, collaborations are important as the digital environment in Barbados develops. This from Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, at Hilton, Barbados, as Barbados observed International Remittance Day and the opening of the regional office of Z-Money today. The minister told the audience such platforms are necessary for the development of the sector.
Financial digital literacy will be the cornerstone of how all of us, particularly those of us of African descent, are able to mobilize the vast resources, whether coming from remittances or how we invest on a South-South basis, to be able to do more work together, invest and build the links together such that we can strengthen the bonds between us.
The minister said government has been on its own journey in the development of digital transformation. He said it is bringing an analog system into the 21st century, which includes many moving parts.
People have grown accustomed and have built expertise and experience in an inefficient system. And that means that technologies like these are meant to be disruptive, positively so, but there's a cultural element that we must now unshackle. And I say to Barbadians that the sooner we can get on board with respect to understanding that the ability to learn again, use the experience that you do have, leverage the new technologies that are unveiling, will be the key to ensuring that there's continued prosperity for our country.
A business to streamline human resources and payroll operations will soon open its doors in Barbados. Head of Business Development at Neo People, Dominic Namis, says the Barbados operation should be up and running by the end of next year. He said the new system is set to replace Excel spreadsheets and will move business operations to the next level.
Neo People is a people platform in its simplest form, so meaning it does everything from managing your time off to time and attendance to payroll. It's one system, fully integrated, and it aims to replace Excel spreadsheets forever.
It is an all-in-one business platform, and Mr. Namis gave some details about its capabilities.
We are developing cutting-edge technology. I'd like to show you right here. We have a proprietary branded biometric device that uses artificial intelligence to scan your face or your fingerprint. So this device is put at the employee entrance and immediately generates an employee timesheet to make paying employees a breeze.
Barbadian wellness entrepreneur and master therapist Steve Andrews is in Kenya, where he's leading training workshops for spa and massage therapists on the continent. Kenya is the first stop of a three-country tour, which will also take him to Rwanda and Nigeria. Mr. Andrews, the Chief Executive Officer of Soothing Touch The Spa, has extensive experience in the wellness space in Barbados. He first visited the continent on the Invest Barbados, Export Barbados business mission to Kenya and Rwanda in November 2022, and is urging other entrepreneurs from Barbados and the region to view Africa as a viable destination for trade and export of services. Time for that second look at the sports with Damien Best. Damien.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Well, Barbados will participate in 4 sports for the first time ever at the CAC Games. Tonight on Journey to San Salvador with CBC's Amory Burke, we hear about 2 of them.
Let's take our journey to San Salvador as we feature Team Barbados. For the first time, Barbados will be represented in rowing at the CAC Games. And the athlete set to row his way into the history books is Ianto Brewer.
It's a great privilege. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity because a lot of my teammates where I'm at, they don't really get the opportunity to row, internationally. So when this opportunity came along, I had to take it. So I'm really grateful, the Barbados Olympic Association for, offering it. So just gotta try my best.
Currently a student at the University of Surrey in the UK and part of their boat club, Ianto said he picked up the sport only a few years ago.
I've been doing it for, I'd say around 5 years. But I've sort of I've properly committed to it probably, I'd say for around 3 years now. I picked it up in school. I went to a boarding school in the UK. It's called Aberdeen Boys School, and that's where that sport was on offer. So I picked it up there and I really enjoyed it. So I've kept doing it into university where I'm at currently.
When the men's lightweight singles scull event gets going on June 24th, the first day of competition, Ianto will be on the water solo, something that is relatively new for him.
I've only recently sort of started rowing in a single. I'm relatively new to, being in that boat class. So I'm just gonna try as hard as I can. I really have no idea how I'll place, but this will be, I'm seeing this as sort of a starting point to see where I stand up against, international competitors, and then hopefully, for the next time, I'm hoping to do international competitions in the future, so just build on this first performance and see where I can take it.
And he has been training to ensure he can take on the competition.
It's been challenging, but it's really I think it's really helped me improve in the sport. So with rowing, obviously there are different boats that you can go in, and for the CAC Games I'll be in a single, so just me. But throughout the year I've been in boats with other people a few people who are a lot more experienced than me, so I've been trying to learn from them. But the past sort of 2-3 weeks, I've been solely in a single preparing for the competition. Just trying to make the most of each session. Trying to chat with my coaches. I have a race this coming weekend to sort of help me prepare. So just gotta see what happens there and try and improve.
As Ianto is set to make history, it's beyond just competing, but bringing some much-needed attention to the sport.
I really hope that it can, bring a few more eyes onto the sport. I know it's not massive in Barbados at the moment, but I know they're working on trying to, improve awareness about, beach sprints. So yeah, I'm just hoping it can, if people see it in the newspaper or on, TV, it could, they could get interested in it, and, then that can just build a bit more of a following in Barbados for the sport.
Ianto Brewer, remember this name. He'll go down in the history books as Barbados' first ever rower at a CAC Games. Also making history with him will be the surfers, as for the first time, they too will be part of the Barbados contingent. Two familiar names, Chelsea Tuak and Kai St. George. Keeping with water sports, Scott Gittins will be flying the Broken Trident in sailing, and there are two triathletes in Matthew Wright and Neil Skinner.
Well, that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for visiting us. Now, if you want to see more stories like this one, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always go to cbc.bb for the latest news and current affairs.